Thank you, Dr. Buckner. Alabama's gruesome prisons. Report finds rape and murder at all hours. New York Times, 2019. Investigation finds Alabama prison conditions are unconstitutional. CBS News, 2019. Alabama faces deadline to address dangerous and deadly prison conditions. NPR, 2019. Many of you may have recognized these headlines or have read similar news articles pertaining to this issue. You may have felt compassion, frustration, or indifference. Yet each year we are voted as the most ethical and trusted professionals in the U.S. Whether you are a nurse educator, nurse administrator, or correctional nurse practitioner, we all should care about this population too. With our numbers, we have the ability to influence change on any issue and show that our nursing career means more to a paycheck, more than a paycheck. The question is, how? My name is Crystal Lockett. I am a correctional nurse practitioner at Fountain in Atmore, Alabama. My presentation today will answer how ASNA, my Leadership Academy project, and how you can influence change in Alabama prisons. How can ASNA improve the physical and mental health needs of Alabama prisoners? We do so first by showing compassion and concern. Rosemary Jurgensen and Bonnie Rosh did just that. These phenomenal women submitted the 2018 resolution last year entitled Improving the Physical and Mental Health Needs in Alabama Prisons and Detention Centers. Rosemary, raise your hand. Yes. They summarize problems like overcrowded prisons, mental health needs, and lack of adequate nutrition. These ladies' decision to take action to find a solution to these problems inspired me last year. So I asked myself, how can I assist ASNA improve the physical and mental health needs of Alabama prisoners? First, I decided to join the Ethics and Human Rights Committee at last year's conference, observe the correctional needs of the prisoners and the staff, and developed my Leadership Academy project. My project focuses on key stakeholders, correctional nurses and nurse practitioners. The purpose is to increase nursing advocacy in corrections, unify correctional nurse practitioners, and encourage ASNA membership and Ethics Committee membership by this week's conference. This timeline depicts a plethora of activities I've done over the past few months. I met with my mentor, Dr. Adrienne Curry, who has guided me and encouraged me throughout this project. Drove 6 hours round trip to give a presentation in person to the mid-levels that are employed at the state prisons. Sent several emails, phone calls, trying to encourage all of the correctional nurses and nurse practitioners to engage in this endeavor. This slide represents two maps. One is a very simple map of the 5 ASNA districts along with the associated prisons in each of the districts. The map on the right shows all of the prisons as well, along with the associated work camps. I am employed at Fountain Correctional, which is located in District 4, and next to it is Holman as well. Currently, we have representation from 5 out of the 14 facilities. We still need correctional nurses and nurse practitioners at these other facilities listed here. As you can see, the ones highlighted in yellow were negatively mentioned on those news articles I read earlier in my introduction. So we need their representation to show that they want to be involved. I'm sure you all will agree, rarely is anything positive mentioned about the Alabama Department of Corrections. But ASNA can change that by leading a collaborative project involving correctional nurses and nurse practitioners working with the ADOC to improve the physical and mental health care needs of Alabama prisons. So my goal has now been revised. I would like representation from each of the facilities by September 26th, which is the next Ethics and Human Rights Committee conference call. We've already talked about a plethora of activities that we want to do over the next few months, but we need to know what the specific needs for each facility are. So how can you improve the physical and mental health needs of Alabama prisons? Encourage any correctional nurses or nurse practitioners you know to get involved. Make sure your district is represented on the next conference call, especially if you're in District 5 because they have the most prisons. And support the Ethics Committee once we establish our specific goals over the next few months. Fyodor Dostoevsky is a Russian author and activist who stated the degree of civilization can be judged by entering its prisons. What are our prisons saying about us as society? What are our prisons saying about us as Christians for the 75% of Americans who identify to be so? Where's the fruit? Before they were prisoners, they were children and adults we encountered each day in our communities. Thus, as I close, I would like to encourage these three things. Choose to serve God, your families, your patients, no matter who they are. Choose to live by example because a healthy nurse is a healthy nation. And choose joy. We have the most diverse and rewarding career in the U.S. By doing these things, we can lead our nation in a career that clearly means more to us than a paycheck. Thank you.